Welcome to Japanese Sleep Whispers, your sanctuary for peaceful nights and gentle dreams. Here, you will find calming bedtime stories inspired by the timeless beauty and traditions of Japan. Each story is read slowly in a soothing voice, accompanied by natural sounds such as flowing rivers and the tranquil rhythm of shishi-odoshi. Whether you seek relaxation, relief from stress, or help falling asleep, these tales invite you to drift away into a world of serenity. Imagine quiet temples, moonlit gardens, and the whispering bamboo forests as you listen. If you'd like these soothing stories to be part of your nightly routine, consider subscribing so they're always with you when you need them. Subscribe and let these stories be your nightly ritual of calm and rest. Thank you for being here. May you always find peace in every moment. A walk through the sleeping city. Prologue: the hour when the city forgets its name. There is an hour in every city when it forgets what it is called. Street signs still stand where they have always stood, and trains still sleep on their rails, but the city no longer answers when spoken to. This hour comes quietly. It does not announce itself with bells or clocks. It arrives the way breath deepens just before sleep, or the way rain begins before you notice the sound. In Japan, this hour often settles somewhere between the last train and the first bird. Neon lights soften their voices. Vending machines hum like they are remembering old songs. Windows glow faintly, not with urgency, but with patience. This is the hour when footsteps matter again. You are walking, not toward anything in particular. Not away from anything either. You are simply moving, one step answering the last, your body remembering a rhythm older than intention. The pavement is cool beneath your shoes. It has held the heat of the day and is now slowly releasing it, the way a story releases meaning only after it is finished. Somewhere far above, an airplane draws a thin white thread across the sky. Somewhere underground, water moves through pipes without being seen. You breathe in. The air smells faintly of concrete, leaves, and something sweet you cannot name. This walk is not a journey. It is a permission to move without progress, to exist without summary, to be awake without being alert. The city, half asleep now, allows you to pass. And so, gently, the walk begins. Chapter 1: Streets that Listen. The street you are on has no reason to remember you, yet it does. Perhaps it remembers everyone, or perhaps it remembers no one at all, and what you feel is simply the echo of your own attention. The houses are close together here. Wood and concrete lean toward one another like old neighbors who no longer need to speak. A single bicycle rests against a wall, its basket empty. A cat-shaped shadow passes beneath a parked car and disappears, as if it were never fully here. You walk past a small shrine tucked between two buildings. Its torii gate is modest, its stone worn smooth by time and weather. Someone has left a coin earlier in the evening. It catches the moonlight faintly, a quiet agreement between a person and something unseen. There is no wind. When you pause, the world pauses with you. This is something cities learn only at night how to listen. In the daytime, everything speaks at once. Engines, footsteps, announcements, thoughts. Meaning becomes layered and loud. But now, the city listens back. Your steps sound different here. Not louder, but clearer. Each footfall arrives, completes itself, and fades, like a sentence that does not require a response. You notice how your shoulders have dropped. How your jaw has loosened without instruction. The body, when given silence, knows what to do. A street lamp flickers once, then steadies. Its light spills downward in a soft circle, illuminating fallen leaves arranged without intention. You step through the light and out again, and the shadow closes behind you. Somewhere, a radio murmurs behind a closed window. You cannot make out the words, only the shape of a voice moving slowly, unconcerned with being understood. You think, briefly, of all the people sleeping now. People whose names you will never know. People are dreaming of places they have never been. People whose breaths rise and fall in rooms like these. The thought does not make you feel small. It makes you feel held. The street bends slightly to the left. You follow without question. A convenience store glows at the corner, its glass reflecting a version of you that looks calmer than you remember feeling. Inside, shelves stand in perfect order, attended by no one at this hour. You do not go in. The door slides open once, then closes, as if acknowledging your presence and letting it pass. Beyond the store, the city thins. The buildings grow lower. The sky grows wider. A narrow river appears beside the road, its surface dark, carrying fragments of reflected light downstream. You stop at the railing and rest your hands on the cool metal. The water does not hurry. It moves because it moves. Because gravity is gentle and persistent. Because stillness is not its nature. You breathe again, slower this time. There is nothing you need to remember. Nothing you need to prepare. This walk does not ask for plans. When you resume walking, your steps align naturally with your breath, as if they have been waiting for each other. Ahead, The path continues into a quieter part of the city, a place where names matter less than sensations, where time stretches thin and soft. The night remains awake enough to guide you, asleep enough to keep you safe. And you continue, carried forward by the simple agreement between your body, the ground, and the listening streets. Chapter 2: The River That Remembers the Moon. The river stays beside you for a while, as if it has decided to keep you company. It is not wide, and it does not announce itself. In the daytime, people probably cross it without looking. But now, in this softened hour, it carries the sky carefully, holding fragments of moonlight the way memory holds dreams. Your footsteps slow without effort. The railing ends, and the path becomes narrower. Gravel replaces pavement. Each step makes a small, considerate sound, as though the ground is aware that others are sleeping. The river speaks, but only if you do not try to listen. Its voice is not water against stone, but the absence between those sounds. A pause. A letting go. You walk with your hands loosely at your sides. They feel lighter here, as if the night has gently removed something you no longer need. Across the river, houses sit quietly, their windows dark, their curtains drawn. A single light remains on in an upper room. You imagine someone asleep with a book open on their chest. A page half turned, the story paused mid-breath. You do not wonder who they are. The night does not require details. A bridge appears ahead, simple, concrete, unremarkable in design. You step onto it and pause at the center. From here, the river looks different. Not longer or shorter, just deeper. Reflections stretch and break. Light becomes movement. Movement becomes suggestion. For a moment, you feel as if you are standing between two versions of time, the one that has already passed, and the one that has not yet decided to arrive. Your breathing slows again. You notice how the inhale no longer feels like effort. How the exhale lingers, unwilling to leave too quickly. The bridge does not rush you. When you step off the other side, the air changes. It smells faintly of damp earth and moss, of leaves that have been resting for a long time. The city feels farther away here, even though you know it is still close. A narrow road curves gently upward. Trees line both sides, their branches forming a loose arch overhead. They do not block the moon. They frame it. You walk beneath them. Leaves whisper against one another, not in conversation, but in acknowledgement. This place remembers footsteps. Not individual ones, just the idea of walking itself. The repeated act of moving forward without a demand or destination. You feel your thoughts begin to stretch. Not disappear. Just lengthen, like shadows at dusk. Memories surface briefly: a train platform, the smell of rain on warm pavement, a voice calling your name from another room. They do not stay. They drift past like scenery viewed from a slow-moving train, noticed, appreciated, and then released. The road levels out. Ahead, a small station building emerges, its shape familiar even if you have never been here before. Every local station in Japan seems to share the same quiet understanding. This is a place of waiting, but not impatience. The platform is empty. No announcements echo. The digital sign is dark, resting. A bench sits beneath the eaves. You take a seat, the wood cool beneath you. Your body accepts the stillness easily. You sit with your hands folded loosely, your feet flat on the ground. The position feels natural, as if you have arrived somewhere you were always meant to pause. The tracks stretch away into darkness on both sides. Steel lines dissolving into shadow. They do not suggest arrival or departure. Only continuation. Somewhere far away, a train moves through another part of the city, its sound carried faintly on the air. Not loud enough to interrupt, just enough to remind you that movement still exists. You close your eyes for a moment. Behind your eyelids, the darkness is not empty. It is textured, soft. You feel the bench supporting you, the ground supporting the station. The earth supports everything. Nothing is falling. When you open your eyes again, the moon has shifted slightly. Time has moved, but gently. You stand, not because you must, but because it feels right. Beyond the station, a path continues toward a quieter place. Still one where the city thins into countryside, where sounds grow farther apart, and the night deepens into something closer to sleep. You follow the path. The river is gone now, but its rhythm remains, carried inside your steps, inside your breath. The walk continues, unhurried, unquestioned. And somewhere ahead, the night opens further, ready to hold you as long as you need. Chapter 3: Fields where the dark grows soft. The path narrows again, and without any clear boundary, the city loosens its hold on the land. Street lights become fewer. Their pools of light grow wider apart, like islands in a dark sea. Between them, the night deepens not into fear, but into texture. The air changes first. It carries the scent of soil and grass, cool and slightly sweet, as if the earth itself is breathing more slowly. You walk along the edge of fields that stretch outward, their shapes barely visible, their presence known more by openness than form. Rice fields, perhaps, or fields resting between seasons. In the dark, the distinction does not matter. They are places that have learned patience. A faint sound reaches you, a crossing bell, far away. Not urgent, not warning, just a slow, measured ringing, as if reminding the night of its own rhythm. You pause without stopping completely. Your body has learned how to rest while moving. Somewhere in the distance, a train passes through the countryside, its windows briefly lighting the dark like a moving thought. Then it is gone. The silence that follows is not empty. It is full of small lives, continuing unseen insects, wind through grass, the steady turning of the planet beneath your feet. You resume walking. The road here is straight, lined with low fences and narrow irrigation channels. Water moves quietly beside you, reflecting stars that seem more numerous now. You look up. The sky has opened. Without the city's glow, the stars arrange themselves generously, scattered without instruction. They do not form messages. They do not guide. They simply exist, and in doing so, they make room for you to do the same. Your thoughts slow further. They begin to separate, no longer arriving in clusters, but one at a time and then, not at all. Your breathing finds a deeper place. Inhale, exhale. The night seems to respond, expanding gently with each breath. A small farmhouse appears to your left, its silhouette steady against the dark. A single window glows faintly. Inside, someone sleeps, their dreams unfolding without an audience. You do not imagine the dreams. You let them remain private. Further along, a vending machine stands alone beside the road, its lights dimmed, its hum barely audible. It feels less like a machine here and more like a night creature awake so that others do not have to be. You pass it slowly. The road curves, and a grove of trees gathers ahead. Their trunks are dark, their leaves layered like overlapping thoughts. As you enter the grove, the temperature drops slightly. The darkness here is thicker, but not heavy. It feels like a blanket laid gently over the land. Your footsteps soften further, absorbed by fallen leaves and packed earth. The sound they make is almost ceremonial, a quiet acknowledgement of presence. You become aware of your heartbeat. Not because it is loud, but because everything else has grown quiet enough to let it be noticed. It is steady, reliable. You have nothing to prove to it. The grove opens into a small clearing. In the center stands an old stone marker, weathered smooth, its inscription worn beyond recognition. You do not try to read it. Whatever it once marked, a boundary, a memory, a name, has already completed its work. You stand there for a moment, under the open sky, surrounded by dark fields and silent trees. A sense of being exactly where you are settles over you. Not satisfaction, not happiness, just rightness. Your eyelids feel heavier now, not with exhaustion, but with trust. The kind that allows sleep to arrive on its own terms. When you leave the clearing, the path continues downward, toward a place where the land dips and gathers water. You can hear it before you see it, a pond, perhaps, or a slow-moving canal. The sound is barely there, more felt than heard. You follow it. The night grows deeper, and with it, your awareness gently narrows. Soon, the walk will change again, becoming less about movement and more about drifting. But for now, your feet still touch the ground, and the ground still answers. You continue, carried forward by the soft agreement between darkness, breath, and the long, unhurried earth. Chapter 4, Where Water Learns to Be Still. The ground slopes gently downward, and the sound you have been following finally reveals itself. Water. Not rushing. Not falling. Simply resting in motion. A pond opens before you, its surface dark and wide, holding the sky without distortion. The path circles its edge, a thin ribbon of earth worn smooth by time and by people who once walked here with no need to hurry. You slow further, until walking feels almost optional. Each step arrives as a suggestion, not a command. The air here is cooler, damp in a way that feels intentional. It carries the scent of water plants, of stones that have been wet for a very long time. You stop near the edge. The pond does not reflect you clearly. It reflects light and darkness, and the idea of depth. A single ripple moves across the surface, perhaps from a fish below, or a leaf settling after a long fall. The ripple spreads, widens, disappears. Nothing follows it. You notice how naturally your breathing has slowed. How the space between breaths has grown longer without effort. In this place, waiting is not an action. It is a state. Across the pond, reeds stand quietly, their silhouettes repeating themselves until they blur into a pattern. A frog calls once, then does not repeat itself. The sound feels complete on its own. You sit on a low stone near the water. It is cool, solid, and unconcerned with your presence. Your body settles easily, as if it recognizes the shape of rest without needing instruction. The walk feels far away now. Not gone, just softened, like a memory that no longer needs detail. You become aware of small things. The way the night presses gently against your skin. The way your hands rest, open, with nothing to hold. Thoughts still appear, but they no longer connect. They arrive, pause, and drift back into the dark. A face, a place, a half-remembered sentence. None of them stay long enough to ask for meaning. The pond remains unchanged. Water has learned something humans take longer to understand: how to move without going anywhere. You close your eyes, just for a moment. Behind them, the darkness feels wide and calm. Not empty. Supportive. When you open your eyes again, the stars seem slightly brighter, as if the sky has leaned closer. Time has thinned. You are no longer sure how long you have been here, and the question feels unnecessary. Eventually, you stand. Not because the moment has ended, but because it is ready to change. The path continues beyond the pond, narrower now, leading toward a low hill that rises gently against the sky. You follow it. With each step, the sense of having a body softens. Your feet still touch the ground, but more lightly. As if gravity has loosened its grip out of courtesy. At the top of the hill, you pause. From here, the land spreads quietly in all directions: fields, trees, water, and beyond them, the suggestion of distant towns already deep in sleep. No lights demand attention. Everything seems arranged for rest. You feel a subtle shift inside, a turning inward, like a door closing softly, not to shut something out, but to keep something safe. The walk is becoming something else. Less a movement through space, more a gentle drifting through layers of awareness. You begin the descent on the other side of the hill, each step slower than the last, until even the idea of walking feels optional. Ahead, the path fades into darkness, not because it ends, but because it no longer needs to be seen. You trust it. You trust the night. And without realizing when it happens, you begin to move as if you are being carried rather than walking at all. Chapter 5: The place between one breath and the next. The path is no longer clearly beneath your feet. Not because it has disappeared, but because the idea of a path has grown less important. Movement continues, yet it no longer announces itself as walking. It feels more like drifting, a gentle forward motion that happens without effort, the way clouds change shape without deciding to. Your breathing becomes the only clear rhythm. Inhale, a pause, exhale. Between one breath and the next, there is a space. You notice it now. Not empty, not full, simply present. The night seems to widen there, stretching softly, making room. Sounds grow farther apart. A distant insect call, then nothing. A faint rustle of leaves, then stillness again. Each sound stands alone, complete in itself. You are no longer certain whether your eyes are open or closed. The darkness feels the same either way. You sense the land beneath you, but not its details. Only its support. The hill, the pond, the fields, they have all blended into a single, steady foundation. Thoughts arrive more slowly now. They no longer form sentences. They appear as impressions: warm light, cool water, the memory of a hand resting somewhere safe. Each impression dissolves before it can turn into a story. You realize you are not following the night anymore. The night is carrying you. There is no effort in this. No falling, no lifting. Just a gentle suspension. Time behaves differently here. Moments do not line up behind one another. They overlap, softly, like layers of fabric. You may have been here for seconds. You may have been here much longer. Both feel equally true. A sense of boundary begins to fade, not in a frightening way, but in the way shorelines fade when seen through morning mist. Where does the water end? Where does the air begin? The question no longer matters. You feel safe enough. Stop asking. Your body feels distant, but not gone. It is resting somewhere nearby, doing what bodies know how to do best when given permission. Rest. Breath continues without instruction. Heartbeats continue without demand. You are aware of them without listening closely. Awareness itself has softened. It no longer clings. If a thought arises, it floats. If it does not, nothing is missing. The darkness around you feels warm now, not in temperature, but in tone. It holds youth way a familiar room holds silence at night, without expectation. Somewhere far away, morning already exists. But it is not moving toward you. For now, there is only this. This gentle, unmarked place between one breath and the next. You do not need to stay awake for it. It will remain whether you notice it or not. And as you rest here, the last thin lines of intention begin to loosen. The walk, the city, the river, the fields. They are all still present, but they no longer require attention. Like shoes placed neatly by a door, waiting for another day. You drift further, not downward, not away, but inward, toward a quiet center that has always been there, patient, unlit, and kind. Chapter 6: Mist that has not yet chosen a shape. Something changes, though it is difficult to say what. Not a transition, not an arrival. More like the moment when a dream decides it does not need to explain itself. The darkness lightens not into brightness, but into softness. A pale mist surrounds you, cool and gentle, as if the night has exhaled. There is ground beneath you again, or perhaps there always was. It feels smooth, slightly damp, like stone that has known many mornings. You become aware of a bridge. Not suddenly, not clearly. It simply exists ahead of you, stretching through the mist, with no visible beginning or end. Its shape is old. Wooden planks worn thin by countless crossings. Railings smoothed by hands that once held them without thinking. You move onto the bridge. Your steps make no sound. yet you sense the structure responding, not bending, but acknowledging. Below, water moves slowly. You cannot see it clearly, only feel its presence, a steady, horizontal patience. The mist drifts across the bridge, thickening and thinning without pattern. For a moment, you feel as though you are walking inside a breath. There is no direction here. Forward feels the same as stillness. Stillness feels the same as rest. Halfway across the bridge, you pause. Not because something calls you, but because pausing feels complete. The mist opens slightly. Beyond it, you glimpse a landscape that does not insist on detail. A suggestion of trees, a hint of rooftops, a faint rise and fall of land. It could be a village at dawn. It could be a memory of one. It could be neither. The difference no longer matters. You notice a quiet brightness ahead, not sunlight, but something more diffused. Like the idea of morning before morning arrives. The bridge does not lead toward it. The brightness does not approach you. They coexist, patiently. Your breathing is very slow now. Each inhale feels like acceptance. Each exhale feels like a release. You are not preparing to wake. You are not falling asleep. You are resting in the place where those two ideas overlap. The mist carries faint sounds, not voices, but the shapes voices make when they are remembered. Laughter without faces. Words without meaning. Familiar without identity. They do not pull at you. They pass through, like wind through open windows. You feel a subtle warmth at your back, as if something unseen is making sure you do not drift too far. The bridge feels endless now, but not long. Endlessness here is not distance, it is permission. You could stay here without counting time. You could move without changing anything. Eventually, you take another step. And then another. Not to reach the other side, but to continue the gentle motion that has been carrying you all along. The mist begins to thin. Not fully. Just enough to reveal a wide, open space beyond the bridge, a place without edges, without names. A place made not of scenery, but of calm. You sense that the walk is almost finished, becoming something else. Soon, even the idea of a chapter will feel unnecessary. For now, you remain here on the bridge, in the mist, between night and sleep. Held. Chapter 7. When words begin to rest. The mist no longer surrounds you. It has become part of you. Or perhaps you have become part of it. It is difficult to tell, and the question feels distant, unnecessary. The bridge is gone now. Not behind you, not ahead. Simply no longer required. There is space. Wide, unmarked space. Not empty, just undecided. Here, words arrive differently. They do not line up. They do not ask to be followed. They settle, like snow that does not intend to accumulate, like dust that rests exactly where it falls. You notice how little effort it takes to remain. No balance to maintain. No direction to choose. Awareness is present, but it is no longer searching. Breath moves. Slow. Even. Sometimes there is a pause so long it almost feels like forgetting. And then breath returns, softly, without apology. There are images here, but they are faint. A white road stretching through fields. Morning light caught in paper screens. Steam rising from a cup you never lift. They appear only to dissolve. Nothing asks to be remembered. Your body feels a long way away now. Not lost, just quiet. As if it has stepped into another room and closed the door gently so you can rest. You feel supported. By the space. By the stillness. By something that does not need a name. If a sound appears, it is already fading. If a thought forms, it softens before it finishes. There is no edge here between inside and outside. No border between now and then. Only a continuous, gentle presence. The kind that exists before stories and after they end. Time has loosened completely. It no longer moves forward. It no longer waits. It simply is. You sense that this is where the walk was always leading. Not to a place, but to a way of being that does not require motion. Here, even drifting feels optional. You are allowed to disappear a little. Not in a frightening way. In the way a candle flame disappears into warmth rather than darkness. If sleep comes now, it will not interrupt anything. It will simply continue what has already begun. There is nothing left to do. Nothing left to follow. Nothing left to hold. Words themselves grow quiet. They bow, step back, and rest. And you rest too. Chapter 8 – The Shape of Breathing. There is almost nothing left to say. And that is not a loss. It is a relief. Breath moves. In, out. The space between them widens, not by force, but by trust. In that space, nothing waits. Nothing needs to arrive. Awareness is still here, but it has stopped leaning forward. It rests where it is. Images no longer form clearly. If something appears, it is only a suggestion, light without source, warmth without direction. You do not follow it. You do not need to. The body breathes. Somewhere, a heartbeat continues its steady work, faithful, unnoticed. There is a sense of weightlessness now, not floating, not falling. Simply held, as if the world has placed a hand beneath you and decided that is enough. Time no longer stretches or shrinks. It dissolves, not into nothing, but into sameness. Each moment feels like the next, and that sameness feels safe. Thoughts do not finish. They soften mid-shape, like waves that choose not to reach the shore. If you notice yourself drifting, there is no correction. If you notice nothing at all, there is no absence. Breath continues. In, out. Sometimes the inhale barely arrives. Sometimes the exhale lingers longer than expected. Both are allowed. Nothing needs to be regulated. The night is no longer around you. It is with you. It has slowed to match your rhythm, or perhaps you have slowed to match its own. There is no distinction left. Here, even the idea of sleep feels unnecessary. What matters is already happening. Rest is not approaching. It is present. Complete. If consciousness fades, it fades gently, like sound moving farther away without ever stopping. If it remains softly, without tension. Either way, you are carried. Words are now only echoes. They dissolve as soon as they appear. And in their place, there is only this. Breath. Pause. Breath. Epilogue night continuing without witness. Nothing ends. It simply continues without needing to be observed. Breath still moves, somewhere close, somewhere familiar. The world remains quiet, stable. It does not ask whether you are awake. The night stretches on, unconcerned with chapters, unaware of stories. Outside, fields remain where they are. Water remains in its place. Cities remain asleep inside their own slow breathing. Inside, there is no need to follow anything anymore. No path, no bridge, no words. If awareness stays, it stays lightly. If it fades kindly. Both are held by the same softness. Nothing will be missaid by letting go. Nothing will be lost by resting. The walk does not stop because it never needed to move. It has become the stillness that supports movement when it returns. For now, there is only this quiet continuation. Unmarked, unwatched, safe. And the night, having done what it came to do, remains. Crickets singing in the summer night. Prologue when heat finally lets go. The day does not end all at once. In summer, it loosens its grip slowly, reluctant to release the warmth it has gathered since morning. Concrete still holds heat. Walls breathe it back into the air. Even after sunset, the world feels as though it remembers the sun. But there comes a moment quiet, unannounced, when the heat finally lets go. It is not cool yet. Not truly. It is simply no longer pressing. In Japan, this moment often arrives with sound rather than light. Crickets begin to sing. Not together. Not in unison. One voice tests the night. Another answer from a distance. Soon, the dark fills with a woven rhythm, thin, steady, unconcerned with being noticed. You are walking. The sky is deep blue, not yet black. Street lights glow softly, their halos slightly blurred by humidity. Your shirt clings lightly to your back. The air is thick, but no longer heavy. Each step releases a faint warmth from the ground, as if the earth itself is exhaling. The sound of crickets follows you. Or perhaps you are following it. This walk is slower than the last. Summer nights ask for patience. They do not open quickly. They invite you to match their pace. Somewhere nearby, a window is open. A television murmurs. A family laughs briefly, then the sound fades. Life continues, but quietly now. The crickets do not mind. They sing not for an audience, but because this is the hearth they have been waiting for. You breathe in. The air smells of grass, warm soil, and something faintly sweet flowers that release their sentinel after dark. The night is not cool enough to sleep yet. But it is cool enough to begin resting. And so, with the chorus rising and falling around you, the walk begins again. Chapter 1: A road lined with cicada shells. The road you follow is narrow, lined with low houses and overgrown hedges. In the daytime, this street would feel ordinary. A place passed through without attention. But now, it listens. Crickets sing from hidden places beneath leaves, between stones, inside the grass that spills over garden edges. Their song is sharp, yet gentle. A sound that cuts through the air without disturbing it. You notice the cicada shells first by the way the street light catches them. Translucent. Empty. They cling to tree trunks and fences, perfect replicas of something that has already moved on. You pause beside one. It holds the shape of effort, of climbing, of becoming, and yet, it weighs almost nothing. You continue walking. Your footsteps are quiet, absorbed by the humid night. Somewhere, a dog barks once, then decides not to continue. The crickets fill the space it leaves behind without hesitation. You feel sweat pooling on your skin now, the slightest breeze passing through the street like a kind suggestion. Your shoulders relax. Summer nights do this. They ask the body to let go of the day, piece by piece. A small park opens beside the road. Not large. Just enough space for a bench, a slide, and a few trees. You step inside. The grass is darker here, thicker. Crickets sing louder, their voices overlapping until individual sounds blur into texture. You sit on the bench. The metal is still warm, but no longer hot. It feels welcoming. You rest your hands on your thighs, palms open. Nothing needs to be held. Fireflies appear suddenly, as if called by the stillness. One light, then another. They drift without pattern, small pulses of greenwriting, brief, unfinished sentences in the air. You watch them without trying to follow. The crickets continue. They do not speed up. They do not slow down. They are not marking time. They are filling it. Your breathing settles. In, out. The sounds do not lull you. They steady you. This is not sleep yet. It is the gentle preparation, the moment when the night says, "There is no need to hurry." You sit there longer than you realize. When you stand again, your legs feel heavy in a pleasant way, as if gravity has grown kinder. Beyond the park, the road continues toward fields, where the chorus grows even thicker and the sky opens wider. You step back onto the path, the sound of crickets wrapping around you like a familiar song you never needed to learn. And slowly, the summer night draws you further in. Chapter 2, where the fields begin to breathe. The houses thin out without warning. One moment, you are walking past gates and mailboxes, and the next, the land opens. Rice fields stretch out on both sides of the road, their surfaces dark and still, holding the last traces of the sky. Water lies between the rows, reflecting faint stars and the occasional passing cloud. Here, the sound of crickets deepens. It is no longer a background. It is the air itself. Each field seems to carry its own rhythm, some higher, some lower, all weaving together without conflict. You slow again. The narrow road feels suspended between earth and sky. A small irrigation channel runs beside you, water sliding quietly over stone, cool and unhurried. The sound blends with the crickets, softening their sharpness, rounding the edges of the night. You lean slightly toward the field and feel the temperature shift. Cooler here, damp. The scent of growing things rises, green, alive, and patient. This land knows waiting. It waits through seasons, through floods and droughts, through hands that plant and hands that harvest. Tonight, it waits with you. Fireflies appear again, more numerous now. They hover above the water, their light reflected below, doubling and blurring until it is impossible to tell which glow is above and which belongs to the field. You stop completely. The crickets do not pause. They do not acknowledge your stillness. Their song is not for you. And somehow, that makes it easier to rest within it. Your breathing finds a slower pace. Inhale the scent of water and grass. Exhale the warmth leaving your chest. A distant train horn sounds, long and low, carried across the fields. It fades slowly, stretching into silence without breaking it. You resume walking, but now the movement feels secondary. As if the night itself is the one advancing, and you are simply allowing it to pass through you. The road bends gently, following the shape of the land. Somewhere ahead, a cluster of trees gathers, dark against the sky. The chorus of crickets grows thicker there, layered with other sounds: frogs, the occasional soft splash in the water. Nothing rises above the rest. Everything belongs. You feel a subtle heaviness in your eyelids. Not sleeping yet. Just the suggestion of it. Like a thought that does not need to finish. You walk on, surrounded by sound, supported by earth, while the summer night continues its slow, patient breathing. Chapter 3: The House That Does Not Need to Sleep. At the edge of the fields, a single house rests. Old, wooden, low to the ground. It does not glow with light. Its windows are dark, and yet, it feels awake. You approach without intention, your steps guided more by curiosity than by choice. A narrow path leads around the side, toward a small veranda and engawa raised just above the earth. You step onto it. The wood is warm, but cooling. It holds the memory of the day without clinging to it. You sit, legs folded loosely, your back against a pillar smooth from decades of touch. Wind chimes hang nearby. They have not run yet. They wait. Crickets sing from the garden, from beneath the floorboards, from places you cannot see. Their sound feels closer here, as if the house itself is listening with you. Somewhere inside, tatami mats rest in darkness. Sliding doors stand closed, not to shut anything out, but to hold quiet in. You imagine the house breathing slowly, wood expanding and settling, nails holding gently. This house has known many summers. Many nights like this. People sitting just as you are sitting now, listening, cooling, letting the day fall away. A breeze finally arrives. It moves through the garden, across the veranda, and touches the wind chimes. One soft note, then another. They do not swing wildly. They barely move. Their sound slips between the crickets' voices, threading through without interruption. You close your eyes. The sounds layer themselves: crickets, water, wind chimes, your breath. No single one asks to be followed. Together, they create a space wide enough to rest inside. Your body feels heavy now, not with fatigue, but with grounding. As if gravity has decided to be generous. Thoughts slow. They still appear, but they arrive without urgency. A memory of a summer evening long ago. The feel of night air on bare arms. The sound of insects outside a childhood window. They drift. Nothing needs to be held. The house does not require sleep. It holds it for others. You sit there, supported by wood and sound, as the summer night deepens. Soon, even sitting will feel unnecessary. For now, you remain, listening to the crickets sing the night in a something soft. Chapter 4. Dew settling without sound. The breeze fades. Not suddenly, it simply decides it has done enough. The wind chimes rest again, their last note dissolving into the steady chorus of crickets. Night deepens. The air cools in small, polite increments, each one barely noticeable, yet cumulative. Dew begins to form, not as an event, but as a quiet agreement between air and earth. You step down from the veranda and return to the path. The ground feels softer now, the dust beginning to darken, the edges of stones less sharp. Each step leaves a faint impression that lingers only a moment before being reclaimed. The crickets continue. Some voices have changed lower now, slower. Others remain sharp and bright, holding the earlier warmth of the evening. Together, they mark the night's slow turn without measuring it. The path leads away from the house, back toward open land. The fields are darker now, their water surfaces broken by the slightest movement. Dew gathers on leaves, on grass, on the edges of the path. It catches starlight and releases it gently, one small reflection at a time. You feel the coolness on your skin. It does not chill. It soothes. Your breathing deepens again. In, out. Each breath seems to carry less of the day with it. Somewhere far away, a temple bell rings once. Not a signal, not a call, just a single note acknowledging the hour. It fades completely before you can decide what it meant. The sound of crickets grows more uniform. Not quieter, more blended. Individual voices dissolve into a single field of sound, like rain that has decided to fall evenly. You realize how little effort it takes now to remain present. Awareness no longer leans forward. It settles. The path curves gently toward a low rise, a place where the land lifts just enough to change perspective. You climb slowly. At the top, you stop. The view is minimal fields, trees, dark sky. But the feeling is wide. The sound of crickets spreads in all directions, surrounding you. There is no center to it. You are not in the middle. You are within. A sense of heaviness gathers behind your eyes. Not sleeping yet. Just the gentle lowering of a curtain. Thoughts arrive and do not finish. They soften mid-form, like sentences spoken only halfway. You stand there, letting dew settle on your clothes, on your hair, on your skin. Nothing resists. The night is now cool enough. Not to wake you, to carry you. Chapter 5. When sound becomes a place. You no longer feel the path clearly beneath your feet. Not because it has vanished, but because attention has shifted. What remains most clearly is sound. Crickets fill the night without direction or edge. Their chorus is not loud. It is complete. You walk, but the movement feels secondary, almost optional. As if the night itself is moving and you are resting within it. The sound of insects thickens, layers overlapping gently, some high and thin, some low and steady. No single rhythm dominates. Together, they form something like a floor, a surface made entirely of listening. Your breathing slows. In, out. It naturally finds a pace that does not interrupt the sound but settles into it. A faint rustle passes through the grass. Then stillness again. The sound remains. It does not react. It does not respond. It simply continues. You feel the edges of your body soften. Not disappear, just lose their sharpness. Arms feel lighter. Hands rest more easily. The tension behind your eyes loosens without instruction. Thoughts arrive less often now. When they do, they appear already quiet. A memory of summer heat on skin. A distant evening long ago. The color of twilight fading. They do not connect. They do not stay. The chorus of crickets grows more even. Not quieter, more distant in feeling, as if you are hearing it from inside something warm and enclosed. Time begins to lose its shape. Moments do not line up. They overlap, stretch, soften. You are not waiting for sleep. Sleep is not approaching. Instead, rest is already present. Wide Inato hold both awareness and its absence. The night air feels cooler now. Dew rests fully on the land. You may still be walking, or you may have stopped. The distinction no longer matters. Sound has become the place. And you are already there. Chapter 6: The Space Between Chirps. Gradually, you notice the pauses. Not the sounds themselves, but the spaces between them. Tiny, almost invisible. A cricket calls. Then a brief stillness. Then another answers. The pauses do not interrupt the chorus. They allow it. You begin to rest inside those spaces. Breath aligns there. In. Pause. Out. The pause grows slightly longer. Not forced. Not held. Just allowed. Awareness narrows gently, like a lens softening its focus. Edges blur. The night feels closer now, not around you, but with you. It shares your rhythm. If a thought begins to form, it dissolves in the pause. If an image appears, it fades before taking shape. Nothing needs to complete itself. Your body feels distant but safe. As if it has found a position, it does not need to adjust. Somewhere far away, a single cricket sings alone. Its voice is clear, unanswered. Then, slowly, it is absorbed back into the whole. The pause returns. You rest there. Chapter 7: Heat remembered, coolness kept. The warmth of the day exists now only as memory. Not on the skin, but somewhere deeper. The night has claimed the surface. Cool air rests gently on your arms, your neck, your face. It does not wake you. It reassures. The chorus continues, but softer in perception, as if a door has been closed partway, not to shut sound out, but to let you rest within it. Your breathing is slow now. Very slow. Sometimes the inhale feels so light it barely arrives. Sometimes the exhale lingers, stretching into the sound until the sound and breath are indistinguishable. The idea of movement has almost disappeared. The idea of place has thinned. There is only this gentle continuation. No effort, no direction. Summer night, singing itself into stillness. Chapter 8. Almost sleep. There is very little language left. Words arrive only as echoes. Sound remains, but even thought has softened its edges. Crickets continue to sing, but you no longer count them as separate voices. They are simply night. Breath continues. Heart continues. You are aware of them without listening. If awareness fades, it fades kindly. If it remains light. Nothing is interrupted. Nothing is lost. The night does not require your attention. It carries on perfectly well without it. Epilogue. Summer night singing on. Crickets sing, whether you hear them or not. Fields rest. Houses breathe. The heat of the day has been released completely. Sleep arrives when it arrives. Not as an ending, but as a continuation of what is already happening. The night sings, and you are safe within it. Autumn leaves on the temple path. Prologue. When the mountain holds its breath. Autumn arrives at the mountain temple without ceremony. There is no clear moment when summer leaves and autumn takes its place. The change happens quietly, in pauses rather than events. Leaves loosen their hold. Air grows thinner, cleaner. Light shortens its stay. By the time you notice, the mountain has already adjusted its breathing. You are here in the late afternoon, when the sky is beginning to lower itself toward evening. The road that brought you up the mountain has fallen silent behind you. No engines, no voices, only the faint sound of wind moving through branches that have learned how to let go. Ahead, the temple path begins. Stone steps, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. Not polished, softened. The path does not invite. It waits. Maple leaves lie scattered across the stones. Red, gold, brown colors muted by shade and dust. They do not cover the path completely. They rest where they fell, without pattern, without urgency. You stand for a moment before taking the first step. The mountain feels present, not watching, not judging, simply holding. The air carries the scent of damp earth, fallen leaves, and old wood. Somewhere deeper in the trees, a bird settles for the night. The sound is brief, then gone. You breathe in. The breath feels different here, cooler, slower, as if the mountain is gently teaching your body a new rhythm. This is not a visit. It is a passing through. The temple does not expect you to arrive at anything in particular. And so, with no destination to reach and no time to keep, you step onto the path. The leaves do not move. They allow you to pass. Chapter 1: Stone Steps, Remembering Feet. The first step meets your foot without resistance. Stone, cool and steady, receives your weight as it has received countless others. The steps rise gradually, not steep, not easy. They follow the shape of the mountain, curving slightly, as if listening to the land before deciding where to go. You walk slowly, not because the climb demands it, but because the air does. Each breath feels fuller here, as though the lungs have been given more space than usual. Leaves shift underfoot, a soft, dry sound, more whisper than movement. Some crumble at the edges, returning quietly to smaller pieces of themselves. Others remain whole, their veins still visible, holding the memory of sunlight. You do not try to avoid them. The path does not ask for careful placement. It asks only that you continue. Trees line both sides of the steps: maple, cedar, oak, their trunks darkening as the light fades. Their branches arch overhead, not forming a tunnel, but something looser. An understanding. Light filters through in fragments now. Gold breaking into shadow. Shadow deepening into blue. Time slows without stopping. You notice the sound of your steps more clearly here. Not loud. Distinct. Each one arrives, rests for a moment, then fades. Between them, there is space. In that space, the mountain breathes. You pass a small stone lantern half hidden by leaves. Its surface is mottled with lichen, its edges softened by rain and frost. It is not lit. It does not need to be. It marks nothing urgent. Just presence. The air cools further as you climb. The warmth of the day is retreated into stone and soil. Your shoulders drop without instruction. Your jaw loosens. The body understands this place before the mind does. Somewhere behind you, a leaf detaches from its branch. You do not see it fall, but you hear the faintest sound as it meets the path. A sound so small it almost does not exist. Almost. The steps continue. Sometimes they are uneven, their heights slightly different, asking your body to pay attention without tension. This is not a path for rushing. It has never been. You begin to feel how many seasons have passed here. not as history, but as weighted gentle accumulation of time settling into stone. Footsteps layered upon footsteps. Breaths layered upon breaths. None erased. None is fully present anymore. The path holds them all without effort. As you climb, the sounds of the world below grow faint. No distant traffic. No human voices. Only wind through leaves, and the occasional settling of branches preparing for the night. The light is thinner now. Evening is no longer approaching. It has arrived. You pause halfway up the steps, not from fatigue, but from instinct. From here, the path stretches upward into shadow, and downward into deeper shadow still. You are between. The leaves around you are motionless. They seem to listen. You breathe again. Cool air in. Warm breath out. The mountain accepts both. And when you resume walking, your steps feel lighter, as if the path itself is carrying some of the weight. Ahead, the temple grounds wait, unlit and patient. The night is beginning to settle into the trees. And you continue upward, one stone step at a time, while autumn, unhurried and quiet, walks with you. Chapter 2 Leaves gathering where sound grows thin. The steps begin to level out. Not suddenly, the incline simply loosens, the way a breath releases itself without announcement. Ahead, the path widens slightly. The stones here are older, their edges less defined, as if time has been allowed to finish its sentences. Leaves gather more densely now. They lie in shallow layers, one resting upon another, colors overlapping: rust, amber, faded crimson, and the dull gold of leaves that have forgotten the sun. Your footsteps soften. Sound changes here. It does not disappear, but it thins, as if the air itself has learned how to absorb what is unnecessary. Each step produces a muted hush, a sound closer to breath than to movement. You notice how carefully the body adjusts. Knees bend a little more. Weight shifts slightly forward. Not caution. Consideration. To the left, the trees open just enough to reveal a slope descending into shadow. The forest floor is indistinct trunks dissolving into darkness. Roots hidden beneath leaves that no longer remember which tree they came from. Somewhere within that darkness, something small moves. You do not try to identify it. The night does not require clarity. A faint bell sounds in the distance. Not a temple bell, too small, too irregular. Perhaps a bell tied to a gate, stirred by wind. The sound arrives once, lingers briefly, and does not repeat itself. It feels complete. You walk on. The air carries more moisture now. Not rain, just the presence of water held close to the earth. The scent of wet leaves deepens. layered with the smell of old wooden stone cooling into the evening. You pass beneath a torii gate, simple and unpainted, its wood darkened by age. It does not announce the temple. It suggests it. Beyond the gate, the path becomes less defined. Stone gives way to packed earth, then back to stone again, as if the ground itself has not yet decided what it wants to be. Lanterns line the path at intervals. They are not lit. They have learned how to stand in darkness without complaint. Their shadows are barely visible, absorbed by the surrounding trees. You realize how quiet your thoughts have become. They still appear, but they do not insist. A memory surfaces walking somewhere similar long ago, perhaps as a child, perhaps in another season. The memory has no details. Just the feeling of leaves, and the sense of being guided without instruction. It fades easily. You do not follow it. The path curves gently, and through the trees ahead, you glimpse the first structure, a roofline, low and dark, outlined faintly against the evening sky. The temple does not dominate the space. It settles into it. Its presence is subtle, like a pause between notes. As you approach, the sound of your footsteps nearly disappears altogether. Leaves no longer crunch. They receive. You become aware of your breathing again, how slow it has grown, how evenly it moves. Inhale. Cool air, faintly sweet with decay. Exhale. Warmth returning to the night. The space around you feels enclosed now, not by walls, but by attention. Everything seems to be listening. The trees, the ground, the building ahead, not waiting for you, just aware. You slow further, until even the idea of walking feels almost unnecessary. You are very close to the temple grounds now. Not arrived, just near. And in this nearness, the night deepens. Sound things again. Leaves settle. The path continues forward, quietly, patiently, inviting you not to arrive, but to remain. Chapter 3: The courtyard where footsteps disappear. The path opens without warning. One moment, trees and shadow hold you closely, and the next, space widens. You have entered the temple grounds. There is no gate to cross, no threshold that announces itself. The forest simply loosens its grip, and the courtyard appears. Stone spreads outward broad, flat, interrupted only by fallen leaves and the low shapes of buildings resting quietly at the edges. The leaves here lie thicker. They gather where wind slows, where walls soften the air. Their colors have deepened dark red, brown edged with gold, the muted orange of leaves that have nearly finished becoming earth. You step forward. Your foot meets stone, then leaves, then something softer still. The sound you expect does not arrive. Your footsteps no longer echo. They do not announce themselves. They vanish as soon as they are made. The courtyard absorbs them. You walk slowly across the open space, each step arriving and dissolving without leaving a trace. Buildings line the perimeter, the main hall, a smaller side structure, and storehouses with doors closed long ago. Their wooden surfaces are dark, oiled by rain and time, their edges softened by countless seasons. No light spills from within. The temple is not asleep. It is resting. The air feels different here, still, settled. Wind does not pass through the courtyard. It pauses at the edges, as if aware that something quieter is already present. You notice the sound of leaves shifting faintly, not beneath your feet, but somewhere deeper, a small settling, a final adjustment. Somewhere above, a branch releases another leaf. It drifts down slowly, turning once, twice, before joining the others. The sound it makes is barely there. Barely. You stop near the center of the courtyard. From here, everything feels balanced. The buildings do not pull your attention. The trees do not call. Nothing asks you to move closer. Nothing asks you to leave. You become aware of the temperature of the stone through the soles of your shoes. Cool, steady, unchanging. It feels grounding. Your breathing deepens again. Inhale the scent of old wood, incense long faded into memory, damp leaves, and cold stone. Exhale a soft release, barely felt. Time behaves differently here. It does not stretch forward. It settles downward. Moments layered gently, one atop another, like the leaves at your feet. You think briefly of the people who have stood here before you. Monks. Pilgrims. Visitors who came seeking something unnamed. Their intentions no longer remain. Only their presence, or perhaps the idea of it, lingers in the way the space holds itself. The courtyard does not remember faces. It remembers stillness. You walk again, crossing toward the main hall. As you near the building, the shadow beneath the eaves thickens. It is not darkness, it is shelter. A place where light arrives already softened. You step into it, sound things further. Even your breath feels quieter here, as if the air itself has learned restraint. Wooden pillars rise beside you, their surfaces smooth, cool to the touch. They do not invite contact. They do not refuse it. They simply exist. You rest your hand, fly against one pillar. The wood holds the day's remaining warmth, faint but present. It feels reassuring. You let your hand fall back to your side. The leaves gathered beneath the eaves array undisturbed by the wind. They lie in careful disorder, edges curled, surfaces dulled. This place has learned how to let things rest exactly as they are. Your thoughts slow again. They no longer form questions. They do not reach outward. They settle, like leaves finding their final place. You stand there for a while. How long is unclear. The temple does not measure time in minutes, only in quiet. When you step away from the hall, back into the courtyard, your movement feels lighter. Not because you are leaving something behind, but because nothing has been taken from you. The space remains complete. You walk toward the far side of the grounds, where the path continues beyond the buildings, leading deeper into the mountain. The leaves grow thicker there, the light thinner. Night is no longer approaching. It is here, and as you follow the path onward, the courtyard remains behind you, not emptied, not altered. Simply continuing, holding its quiet, without witness. Chapter 4: The Back Path Where Night Settles. The path beyond the courtyard is narrower. It does not announce itself as a continuation. It simply remains, unobtrusive, waiting. Stone gives way to earth again, packed firm by years of quiet passage. Leaves lie deeper here, undisturbed, as if fewer feet have remembered this way. You step onto the back path, and the temple recedes behind you without farewell. There is no sense of departure, only a shift in presence. The air cools another degree. Night has settled fully now, not as darkness, but as weight. A gentle weight, resting evenly on everything. The trees grow closer together here. Their branches interlace overhead, closing the sky into fragments, small patches of dark blue between moving silhouettes. You notice how little light remains. There is no moon visible. If it exists, it is elsewhere. Your eyes adjust. Shadows become layered rather than deep. The path remains visible not because it is lit, but because your attention has softened. You walk slowly, feeling the ground respond to your steps. The leaves here are damp. They give slightly, releasing a faint scent with each footfall. It is the smell of autumn, its quietest point, decay without urgency, change without effort. Somewhere in the distance, an owl calls once. The sound is low, rounded, complete. It does not echo. Silence resumes naturally, as if nothing had interrupted it. You notice the rhythm of your walking aligning with your breath. Step. Inhale. Step. Exhale. The body no longer resists the pace. Thoughts appear less frequently now, and when they do, they pass without attachment. A word, an image, a memory. None linger long, Inato become stories. The back path curves gently downhill. The temple above you now, the mountain below. You are between, again held, but not directed. The leaves thin briefly, revealing patches of bare earth. Roots emerge here, dark and smooth, exposed by years of rain. You step over them instinctively, without thought. The body remembers to move in places like this. A faint stream becomes audible nearby. Not visible, only present as sound. Water moving slowly over stone, unconcerned with night or season. The sound does not draw you toward it. It simply exists alongside your path. You pass a small stone marker, half buried, its surface worn blank. Whatever it was once nomadus already returned to silence. You continue walking. The path grows softer still, the leaves deeper, the ground yielding gently beneath your weight. Your footsteps are nearly soundless now. The night holds you carefully. Breathing becomes the most noticeable movement. In, out, cool air, warm release. Your shoulders sink further. The muscles of your face relax completely. Even the sense of direction begins to soften. You are still walking, but there is no urgency to reach wherever the path might lead. It feels as though the path itself is walking with you. You slow again, not stopping, just allowing the space between steps to widen. The forest listens. The leaves settle. The water continues its quiet movement. Nothing asks anything of you. You are allowed to be here without purpose, without name, without memory. The back path stretches onward into darkness, gentle and unmarked. And you follow it, carried by autumn, by night, by the quiet agreement between body and ground to keep moving only as much as necessary. Chapter 5, where water and breath become the same. The sound of water grows clearer without growing louder. It does not approach. It simply reveals itself as everything else grows quieter. The path runs parallel to the stream now, close enough that you can sense its movement through the air. Not mist, not spray, just a cool presence, sliding gently along the skin. You cannot see the water clearly. The trees and the curve of the land keep it mostly hidden. But you know it is there by the way the night feels fuller. The leaves beneath your feet are darker here, holding moisture from the stream. They no longer shift when you step. They accept. Your footsteps make almost no sound at all. Walking becomes less about movement and more about balance, a slow transfer of weight, a quiet cooperation with the ground. Breathing changes again. It deepens, then evens out, until it feels less like something you are doing and more like something that is happening. Inhale. Cool air, touched by water and stone. Exhale. A warmth that disappears immediately. The stream's sound is steady, unbroken. It does not vary its tone. It does not mark time. It simply continues. You notice how easily your attention rests on it. There is nothing to follow, nothing to anticipate. The sound arrives, stays, and remains the same. The path curves slightly closer to the water. For a moment, you catch a faint reflection, a broken shimmer of darkness moving where the stream bends. Then it is gone. The forest here feels older. Not in years, but in patience. Trees stand closer to the water, their roots reaching unseen, their branches unmoved by the passing of night. You slow further. Eventually, you stop. There is no clear reason. The body simply recognizes that moving is no longer necessary. You stand there, feet resting in damp leaves, the stream to one side, the path extending quietly ahead. The night does not change. It does not react to your stillness. The sound of water continues exactly as before. Breath aligns with it now. In, out, in, out. The boundary between listening and breathing begins to soften. The stream does not ask to be understood. It does not offer meaning. It exists. And in its presence, thought becomes unnecessary. Images drift briefly through awareness, stones beneath water, leaves floating for a moment before sinking, paths that continue without names. They do not settle. They pass, light as mist, leaving no trace. Your body feels heavier now, not with fatigue, but with grounding. Weight is distributed evenly, muscles resting into themselves. The cool air touches your face, your hands. You become aware of how little effort it takes to remain upright. The night supports you. The ground supports you. The stream supports the sound of itself. Nothing needs to change. After a while, how long is unclear, you begin walking again. Not because you decided to, but because movement returns naturally, like a breath after a pause. The path continues alongside the water, then gradually drifts away. The sound fades slightly, not disappearing, just becoming part of the background of everything else. You do not feel its absence. The night feels complete either way. Leaves thin again beneath your feet. The ground firms slightly. The forest opens just enough for the sky to appear a deep, even darkness without stars. Or perhaps the stars are there, unseen, unnecessary. You continue forward, carried by a quiet momentum that does not belong to you alone. The path, the water, the night, and your breathing move together now. Separate, but aligned. Autumn holds the arrangement gently. And you follow, without effort, without expectation, into whatever quiet comes next. Chapter 6: The Hour That Does Not Ask Its Name. The path no longer feels measured. Not in length, not in distance, not in time. It exists beneath your feet, and that is enough. The forest has grown quieter still. Not because sounds have vanished, but because they no longer separate themselves from the air. The occasional settling of leaves, the soft movement of branches, the distant, almost imagined sound of water, all of it blends into a single, steady presence. You are aware of your body only in broad impressions now. Weight, warmth, balance. Details no longer ask for attention. Your feet move, but you do not track each step. Your hands rest at your sides, fingers loose, without intention. Breathing continues at its own pace. It does not deepen or quicken. It simply repeats, unconcerned with direction. The darkness around you feels even. Not heavy, not empty, even. The sky above, where it appears between branches, holds no markers. No moon. No stars that insist on being counted. Just depth. You realize that the idea of ladder has thinned. There is no anticipation of what comes next, no memory pressing from behind. Only this ongoing moment, wide enough to hold everything without needing to name any of it. The path curves gently again, and the ground beneath your feet becomes smoother. Fewer leaves here, more packed earth. The forest floor feels settled, as though it has already decided to remain as it is for the night. You pass another stone marker, smaller than the last, its top rounded by rain. You do not look at it closely. It does not require recognition. Somewhere nearby, a night insect begins its song. Not loud, not insistent. A single tone, repeated at long intervals. It does not draw your attention sharply. It simply joins the quiet. The sound feels less like something you hear and more like something that fills space. You notice how your awareness is widened. It no longer sits behind your eyes. It seems to rest everywhere at once, in the air, in the ground, in the slow rhythm of walking. There is no center to it now. Movement continues without instruction. You could stop at any moment. You could continue. The difference feels unimportant. The forest does not shift when you pass through it. It does not lean in. It does not turn away. It remains itself, and that steadiness is enough to carry you. A slight incline appears, so gentle it is felt only as a subtle change in effort. Your body responds automatically. Muscles adjust. Breath remains even. There is no strain. At the top of the incline, the path flattens again. You sense a clearing nearby, not by sight, but by openness. The air moves more freely here. You step into it. The space is small, not a field, not a view. Just a place where the tree shade stepped back slightly, allowing the night to rest more fully. You're slow. Then stop. Standing here feels complete. The insect's song continues, steady and sparse. The forest breathes around you. You breathe with it. There is no reason to hold onto awareness tightly. There is no need to let it go forcefully. It can soften. Edges blur. The sense of standing, of stopping, of being somewhere specific begins to dissolve. You are not disappearing. You are simply no longer outlining yourself. The night does not change as this happens. It does not react. It holds everything with the same gentle consistency. If sleep comes now, it will arrive naturally. If it does not, nothing is lost. This hour does not need a name. It does not need to be remembered. It exists fully without being marked. And within it, you remain quiet, balanced, supported. As autumn continues to hold the mountain, the path, and the slow, steady breath of the night. Chapter 7. At the edge where movement becomes rest. You remain in the clearing, though the idea of remaining has begun to lose its shape. Standing feels the same as waiting. Waiting feels the same as resting. The body makes small adjustments, a subtle shift of weight, a quiet release in the shoulders, not to prepare for movement, but to become more comfortable with stillness. The forest holds its arrangement. Trees do not sway. Leaves do not fall. The night has found a balanced position and stays there. Breathing is barely noticeable now. It continues, steady and unremarkable, like a background presence that no longer needs attention. Inhale and exhale feel almost identical. The air moves in, the air moves out. Nothing is added. Nothing is taken away. The insect's song returns, or perhaps it never left. It arrives at long intervals, each sound complete in itself, not calling for the next. Between the sounds, silence stretches gently, unbroken, unconcerned. Your awareness drifts. Not outward, not inward. It spreads. The sense of where you end and where the night begins softens until it no longer matters. There is still a body here, warmth in the chest, coolness on the skin, but it no longer insists on being noticed. You are aware without focusing. Present without effort. The ground beneath your feet feels steady, unchanging. It has been holding weight for a very long time. It knows how. Time thins further. Moments do not line up. They overlap, settle into one another, until the sequence loses importance. There is no before. There is no after. Just this extended now, wide and calm. If a thought appears, it does not form words. It arrives as a faint impression, a color, a temperature, a sense of familiarity. Then it dissolves. The forest does not respond. The night does not react. Everything remains evenly held. You notice, dimly, that the act of noticing has become very gentle. There is no sharp edge to attention. Nothing needs to be identified. Nothing needs to be understood. You are not listening to anything. You are simply here where sound and silence rest together. The clearing feels larger now, though it has not changed. Or perhaps your sense of space has relaxed enough to stop measuring. Distance loses meaning. Near and far become similar ideas. The night feels complete, as if it could continue like this without limit. And perhaps it will. Your posture softens again. Whether you are standing or sitting no longer feels important. The body knows how to support itself without instruction. Breath continues. The insect sings once more. Leaves remain still. Nothing shifts. Nothing needs to. At this edge where movement becomes rest, where awareness becomes wide and thin, sleep is no longer something that arrives. It is simply allowed. If it comes, it comes. If it does not, nothing is disturbed. The mountain holds the forest. The forest holds the night. The night holds this moment. And you are held within it, quietly, without effort, as autumn remains exactly as it is. Chapter 8: The quiet that no longer waits. The clearing no longer feels separate from the forest around it. Edges dissolve. Where trees end and open space begins is no longer clear. Darkness is everywhere now, not layered, not shifting. Just present. Breathing continues, but it has receded from awareness. You do not follow it. You do not need to. The body has taken over what once required attention. Muscles remain loose. Balance holds itself. The sense of gravity is gentle, distributed evenly, as though the earth itself has softened its pull. Sound arrives only occasionally, not as an interruption, but as a texture. The insect's song may appear, or it may already be gone. It is difficult to tell. The difference no longer matters. Images begin to surface, not fully formed, not stable. A stone step, half covered in leaves. A lantern, unlit, its interior filled with shadow. A path, curving out of sight. They do not connect. They do not ask to be followed. They drift through awareness the way reflections drift across water at night. No effort is made to hold them. They pass on their own. Time loosens completely. There is no sense of how long you have been here. The idea of hurry has softened as well. Awareness feels wide, but shallow, spread thinly across everything without settling on any one thing. There is still warmth in the chest. Still coolness in the air. These sensations remain, but they are no longer personal. They belong to the night as much as they belong to you. The ground continues to support. The forest continues to exist. Nothing requires confirmation. If the body sways slightly, it corrects itself. If a breath deepens, it returns naturally to stillness. Everything moves toward balance without effort. Thoughts no longer arrive as language. They appear as weightless impressions, a sense of familiarity, a hint of memory without content. They fade before becoming anything more. The night does not deepen. It does not lighten. It simply remains consistent, steady, and unchanging. This consistency becomes comfort. Not comfort that reassures, but comfort that does not need reassurance. The boundary between waking and sleeping thins further. It is no longer a line. It is a wide, quiet field with no clear edges. You do not step into sleep. You drift as though sleep has already expanded to meet you. Awareness does not disappear. It becomes diffuse, like light through fog, present everywhere, focused nowhere. The forest holds. The mountain holds. Autumn holds the slow, steady balance of decay and rest. Nothing asks you to remain aware. Nothing asks you to let go. Both are equally acceptable. The quiet no longer waits. It does not anticipate. It simply is. And within it, the sense of self rests lightly, thin as breath, soft as leaves settled into their place on the forest floor. Chapter 9. When the path becomes memory. The idea of a path remains, but the sense of walking has faded. Movement exists without direction. Stillness exists without effort. Images return, not as scenes, but as echoes. A stretch of stone, cool beneath unseen feet. Leaves gathered in a shallow drift, their edges curled, their colors no longer distinct. A wooden beam overhead, darkened by age, holds quiet within its grain. These impressions do not arrive in sequence. They overlap, then dissolve. There is no need to decide whether they are remembered or imagined. The difference has softened. Sound is sparse now. A faint tone, perhaps an insect, perhaps the memory of one. It does not repeat reliably. It appears, rests briefly, then is gone. Silence fills the space without effort. Breathing continues somewhere, but it is no longer clearly yours. It belongs to the night, to the forest, to the slow exchange between air and earth. The body feels distant, but not absent. Warmth exists. Weight exists. They do not require attention. Time has loosened completely. Moments do not follow one another. They rest side by side, like leaves layered on stone. Nothing advances. Nothing recedes. Awareness drifts gently across these layers. A bell appears not sounding, just present. A suggestion of metal, cool and still. Then it fades. The temple courtyard returns briefly, empty, balanced, holding nothing but space. Then it, too, dissolves. There is no effort to keep these images. They arise and fall away on their own. The forest remains, but it has even become less defined. Trunks blur into shadow. The ground feels both near and far. Edges are no longer sharp. Everything feels evenly distributed, as though awareness itself is spread thinly across the night. If sleep arrives now, it does so quietly. If awareness lingers, it lingers lightly. Neither state displaces the other. They overlap, like dusk overlapping day, like night overlapping evening. There is no crossing point, no threshold to mark. The mountain continues to exist without reference to you. The temple remains, holding its quiet without witness. Leaves continue their slow return to earth. None of this requires attention. None of this is disturbed by rest. The sense of self has softened into something barely outlined. Present, but not central. Awareness becomes a gentle field in which images, sounds, and sensations briefly appear and fade. Nothing stays long. Inato become a thought. Nothing disappears abruptly. Everything transitions with ease. The night holds this state without effort. And within it, there is no need to move, to remember, or to arrive. Only this quiet continuation, where the path, the forest, and the sense of being rest together, unmarked, unmeasured, and safe. Chapter 10. The same place, slightly softer. Nothing new appears. And yet, something has shifted. The forest is still here. The night is still here. The quiet continues. But the way they are held feels gentler now, as if even the idea of holding has begun to relax. The path returns not as a direction, but as a suggestion. A surface beneath awareness. A sense of continuity without movement. Leaves are present again. Or perhaps they never left. They lie layered, their forms indistinct, their colors muted beyond naming. Red is no longer red. Brown is no longer brown. They are simply variations of softness. A stone appears beneath them, smooth, cool, patient. It does not contrast with the leaves. It supports them. Sound drifts in without origin. A faint rhythm, so slow it does not insist on being followed. It could be breath. It could be wind. It could be neither. It does not matter. Awareness rests on it briefly, then drifts away without resistance. Time repeats itself without repeating exactly. A moment feels familiar, then gently different. The same stillness, slightly quieter. The same darkness, slightly deeper. Nothing changes. Inato require notice. Nothing remains the same. Inato become fixed. The sense of body is now almost abstract. There is warmth somewhere. There is weight somewhere. But location has softened. There is no clear boundary where sensation ends and space begins. Breathing continues, or perhaps the memory of breathing does. Inhale and exhale are no longer distinct events. They blend into a single slow exchange. Images drift again, a lantern under eaves, unlit, its shape barely suggested. A tree trunk, vertical, steady. A stretch of ground, covered, held. They appear, then soften, then fade without fully disappearing. They leave impressions, not memories. The forest does not respond. The night does not react. Everything remains evenly present. If awareness narrows, it does so gently. If it widens, it does so naturally. There is no right size for attention here. The mountain continues to hold everything equally. The temple remains without ceremony. Autumn continues its quiet work without being observed. The repetition of this state becomes soothing. Not because it reassures, but because it does not surprise. Nothing sudden will happen here. Nothing needs to be anticipated. The mind recognizes this and loosens its grip. Thoughts no longer try to organize experience. They drift, then dissolve before taking shape. The same place appears again, the same leaves, the same stone, the same night. But softer, less defined, as though awareness itself has learned how to rest. Sleep is no longer separate from waking. They overlap gently, indistinguishable at the edges. The night accepts both. And within this gentle repetition, nothing asks you to stay awake. Nothing asks you to let go. Everything simply continues, quietly, softly, as autumn settles deeper into the mountain, and awareness settles with it. Chapter 11 Breathing without counting. Stillness. Not empty. Not full. Just here. The forest remains. The night remains. No difference between them. Breathing continues. In. Out. No pause worth naming. The ground supports. The air surrounds. Nothing presses. Leaves exist somewhere. Stone exists somewhere. They do not insist on form. They are texture. They are weight. Awareness drifts. Not away. Not inward. Across. A sound appears. Soft. Then gone. Silence fills the space it leaves without effort. The body is present as a general sense. Warmth. Balance. No edges. Time does not move forward. It spreads. Moments lie beside one another without order. A lantern shape. Unlit. A step. Smooth. A tree. Standing. They appear as impressions, then soften. Nothing holds them. Breathing continues. In. Out. The rhythm is slow. Even. There is no need to follow it. The night feels wide. Not vast. Not close. Even. Awareness thins. Like light through mist. Present. Diffuse. Thought does not form. Language loosens. Words become unnecessary before they arrive. The forest holds. The mountain holds. Autumn holds. Everything is supported without effort. If sleep arrives, it does not interrupt. If awareness lingers, it does not resist. They coexist. Quietly. The same moment continues. Soft. Unmarked. Breathing continues without counting. In. Out. And nothing more is required. Chapter 12. The night breathing itself. Nothing shifts. And yet, everything continues. Breathing happens without being noticed. The forest remains without effort. Leaves rest where they have settled. No sound asks to be heard. No silence asks to be filled. Awareness drifts like warmth in water. There is no center, only presence, evenly spread. If a sensation appears, it does not last. If it fades, nothing is lost. The night breathes itself, and that is enough. Chapter 13. Sleep without arrival. There is no moment when sleep begins. No threshold. No descent. Awareness thins until it becomes almost indistinguishable from rest. Images no longer form. Sound no longer separates from silence. The body rests without instruction. The mountain remains. The temple remains. Autumn continues its quiet work. Nothing marks this hour. Nothing needs to. Chapter 14. The path, forgetting it was a path. The idea of walking dissolves. The idea of stopping dissolves. Only ground, air, and gentle continuation. Leaves no longer feel like objects. Stone no longer feels solid. Everything is texture without edge. Time does not pass. It settles. Chapter 15. Held without hands. No effort is required. No attention is required. Everything is supported without being named. Breath continues somewhere. Warmth remains somewhere. That is all. Chapter 16. Almost nothing. Few impressions arise. They fade immediately. Language rests. Awareness rests. Nothing replaces them. Nothing is missing. Chapter 17. Night uncounted. This state does not move. It does not wait. It does not conclude. It simply remains as long as it is needed. Epilogue. Leaves returning without sound. Nothing ends. Leaves return to earth without sound. Stone cools Shinto the night. The temple holds its quiet without witness. The mountain breathes. Awareness, if present, is light. If absent, nothing is disturbed. There is no closing, no final thought. Only this, a night that continues gently, evenly, safely. Whether or not anyone is listening.